Hey there, everyone. I'm Hunter, and I want to start by asking you a question. What if I told you that 5 years ago, I had absolutely no idea how business worked? So much so that I thought that when you started a business, customers would just come to you because you owned a business. Today, my junk removal company consistently makes $50,000 to $70,000 a month. I started this business with a partner who was literally stealing money from me. I was supposed to handle the junk side while he was supposed to handle the business side. Little did I know that he was quoting jobs $200, saying we were going to split it 50-50, and then only giving me $40 after telling me they were only $80 jobs. But that betrayal from my best friend is the reason why I am where I am. It gave me no other option but to figure out exactly how to run this business and scale it by myself. So I'm going to teach you exactly what I did to take my business from zero all the way to $50,000 to $70,000 a month. The entire journey and my entire experience of how I did it in just under 5 years. All the mistakes I made so you don't have to, the turning points that changed absolutely everything, and the specific strategies that took me from posting on Facebook groups all the way to running an absolute machine of advertisement that generates consistent revenue. If you're struggling to get past $5,000 to $10,000 a month, or you're struggling to get clients, or you don't know how to advertise, or you don't know how to structure the business, or you don't know how to quote, I am going to tell you all of that inside of this video. Now, if you want to build something that actually scales, everything I'm about to tell you in this video is going to change your entire perspective on the junk removal industry. So grab a drink, coffee, doesn't matter, take a seat, and let's go over how I took my business from zero to $50,000 a month. Before I show you the system, I need to explain exactly how this happened because I made every mistake humanly possible. Now, when I first started, I didn't know anything about business or how it operated. I'm coming from being an employee, so I'm used to tasks being given to me, and that's not how business operates. When I first started, I had absolutely no idea how business worked. See, I'm coming from being an employee, so I'm so used to tasks being just handed to me. So I literally thought that once I started a business, customers would just start coming to me automatically. Now, I started with a business partner, and we called it Jackson's Junk Removal because that was his last name. Now, the deal was supposed to be 50-50. He would handle the marketing and advertising, and I would do the physical work. Seems pretty fair, right? So I started a Facebook page, we made a few posts, and he started advertising for us while I went to work. Now, we were doing maybe 1 or 2 jobs a week, and they were small jobs. So he told me, it's $40 here, $80 here, nothing too crazy. Then one day, I'm loading junk into a trailer. I'm going to get paid. I thought it was an $80 job because that's what he told me. And the customer hands me $200 cash. Interesting. I'm standing there thinking, what? Because I was told it was an $80 job, and now I'm being handed $200. Now that's when I realized that money was being stolen from me. Customer handed me $200. I thought it was an $80 job, so I am expecting my $40. And that's when I realized he was stealing from me this entire time. Instead of giving me $100 out of the $200, I was getting $40 out of the $80 that the job was for. And this had happened for quite a while until I realized that this was going on. So I decided, screw this. I split off and started my own company, Dumpire Junk Removal. And that's when the real learning began. All I knew was Facebook and Nextdoor. I'd go on Nextdoor and post. I'd post in Facebook groups. And that was my entire marketing strategy. And it worked slowly. Now here's what I discovered. After I did about 50 jobs, word of mouth marketing started compounding. And here's why. When you do 5 jobs, that's only 5 people that may or may not tell their friends about you, ask you if you need any junk and hand your information over. But when you do 50 jobs, 100 jobs, now you have 50 to 100 people who have the opportunity to get you a job just because they're recommending you to their friends. Now that $0 to $5,000 stretch was probably the longest stretch. I mean, it took probably a little less than a year because that was when I had to figure out what business really was. You have to go find your money. You have to go get your customers. I thought they would come to me. That's not how it works. You have to chase the money. You have to be so obsessed with going and finding the customers because unlike I thought, they're not just going to come to you. You have to go get them. Now, once I hit that 5K, after that, I went to 10K very quickly because there were so many people who knew about my service. I got reoccurring customers. I got customers to recommend me on Facebook and refer me to their neighbors. So that 5K, getting to that 5K was the hardest part. And then after that, it started moving up naturally. Just because I had grinded out for now a year at this point, now I was finally seeing the results. Now the jump from 5K to 10K happened super fast. Once I realized all I had to do was get my name absolutely everywhere, put it everywhere I possibly could. Now I started carrying business cards everywhere. And whenever I went out to a restaurant, I hand them out. Whenever I met somebody at a gas station, I'd hand them out. I was giving out business cards left and right. I put them on gas station counters. I'd put them on hostess desks when I left a restaurant. I hand them to bartenders. I mean, I handed them to absolutely everybody I possibly could just to put my name out there. But I got addicted. I started putting them on gas pumps. I started putting them in thrift stores, inside furniture. I'd hide them inside clothes and Goodwill. It's not necessarily free advertising. You have to buy the cards, but it doesn't cost anything to put them out. So I was putting them out everywhere. Now, at the same time, I was posting consistently on Facebook, Nextdoor, and other platforms like that. Because the truth is, the key is consistency. So I just started posting everything, whether it be customer interactions, whether it be before and afters, anything that I did with my business, me at the landfill, I was posting it because I knew that the key was to just get my name out there. You don't have to be selly to sell something. I could just post something and say, hey, just went to the landfill today. Thank you to all our customers. And I would get customers from that. This combination, business cards plus all my social media posting, took me to 10K pretty quickly from $5,000 a month. I mean, it was literally guerrilla marketing at its finest. Now I realized something important. I needed to build a reputable brand. And considering Jackson's Junk Removal was tied to my old business partner, and he started asking he wanted money because his name was in it, I decided to rebrand everything to Dumpire Junk Removal. And I started building the brand back from scratch. Now the $10,000 to $20,000 a month stretch was all about one thing. I needed to build a brand that people could trust. Now I became with getting Google reviews on my Google business profile. Every single time I did a job, I asked the customer for a review. Now it wasn't like I need a review. It was just letting them know, hey, this would really help me out as a small business. And they would always leave me a review. Now, once I got about 50 Google reviews, 5-star reviews, something fascinating happened. I started getting calls from Google organically. Now, people weren't finding me through my advertising. People were finding me through my 55-star review Google profile just because I was one of the top ranking junk companies in my area. Now, here's what I learned. Customers don't just care about price, they care about trust. Can they trust me in their house when they're not there? Can they trust me around their children? Can they trust me not to let their dog out? Can they trust me not to bang up their walls? Trust is the number one factor in business. It's not always about price. Sometimes it is, but most of the time, it's about trust. The faster you learn that business isn't just about marketing and advertising, it's about building a fantastic reputation, the faster you realize what really matters. Customers will pay more for someone they trust, so they don't have to deal with somebody that they can't trust. Now, I posted every job on Facebook. I kept showing up. I kept advertising. I kept putting out the door ads. I kept putting out the business cards. I kept on posting and posting and posting. And my reputation started preceding me. People would call me and say, I heard you're the guy I need to call for junk removal. I heard you're the junk guy I need to call. I heard you're the man. I heard you're the junk guy. Like, people just knew me for me. People started calling me because it was me, not because I did junk removal, but because it was me. Now, by the time I hit 125 5-star reviews on Google, I started hitting 20K months consistently. But there was something missing. I saw 1-800-GOT-JUNK in college hunks doing such massive numbers. I knew there was something I was missing, and I was determined to figure it out. Getting 20K to 50K was rough, but it was about taking money out of the business and putting it back into the business. I needed to start advertising with real advertisement dollars, not just my fingers, but money. I started hammering Facebook advertising, not just Facebook groups advertising, but real paid ads. Lead generation services like Thumbtack or Networks. I was putting advertising money into those because I wanted the results. I wanted to keep on pushing and get farther than just as far as I could get with word of mouth. But at the same time, I also doubled down on my local presence. Every single time I finished a job, I would ask the customer, hey, do you mind if I leave a yard sign in your yard for 3 days? We'll come pick it up. I would put signs outside the neighborhoods we serviced. I would put signs outside fast food restaurants. I'd put them at intersections. I put signs everywhere. And I wrapped my truck. Now, the truck wrap for me was huge. Like, I literally had people call me that were following behind me, and they say, hey, I'm behind you. Can you follow me to my house? And that happened quite a few more times than you may think. Now, here's where things got strategic. So I would send out postcards, little mail-in postcards with my business name on it. A week later, I'd go into that same neighborhood and I would put in door hangers. And then a week later, I would put a yard sign outside on the street. Now, by the time one of them had some junk they needed hauled off, I was the only company they had seen. They had seen me 3 times just in their neighborhood. So now they know I'm local, they know I'm trustworthy, and maybe they think their neighbors are using me. I probably got a call from one of their neighbors and they saw me in the neighbor's driveway. By the time they had something to throw away, I was the only option. It's not about being the cheapest. It's about being the one company that they've seen around consistently. Now, the game changer for me was I stopped taking profit and taking it for myself. I started taking the profit and putting it right back into the company. I took every dollar I made and put it back into the company, like wrapping the truck, getting door ads, doing Facebook ads. Absolutely anything I could spend the money on, I would. Now, of course, you want to take profit at a certain point, but it's okay to not take profit as long as you're taking that money and putting it back into the company. This approach took me from $20,000 a month all the way to $50,000 a month. I was no longer chasing customers. The customers were coming to me because I had built that reputation we talked about. But that's when I realized there's still another level. There is still another place that I have not been in my business that all these other companies are at, and I was going to figure it out. Now, getting from that 50,000 to 70,000 was going to be a real stretch. I had to do something else. I couldn't keep doing the business cards and the yard signs and the door ads. That could only work so far. So I needed to get into some serious advertising. I started doing some heavy paid advertising, and I mean heavy. Google ads, Facebook ads, Nextdoor, every possible Nextdoor, Thumbtack, networks, literally any possible thing I could do to put money into to advertise, I was doing it. And I was doing it a lot. Now, here's what I learned. There's only so far you can take your money with traditional advertising. After you get to that $50,000 a month, I'm spending $5,000 a month on advertising and I'm bringing in that much more money. So I knew I had to take it to the next level. Now, at some point, you need to scale up your paid advertising and optimize those campaigns to take it to the next level. Today, we're consistently bringing in $50,000 to $70,000 a month. The business is running on systems. Our advertising is next level. We've built a reputation that lasts, so everybody continues to call us. The advertising's dialed in, and the brand reputation is carrying us. Now, here's what I say to people that shocks them the most. If I were to start over, all over again, and I started from zero, within a year, I would be back to exactly where I'm at because I have learned so much. I'd be where I am in 1 year instead of 5. The learning curve was the expensive part. Most small businesses take 10 years to even get to $10,000 a month. Take 10 years to get to $10,000 to $15,000 a month just because they think the customers are going to come to them. And that's just not how it works. That's not how business works. You have to chase business. You have to make people use your service. You have to make people call you. There's only one way to do that. It's by forcing them to know that you exist. If I could go back and tell myself these things from the beginning, it would have saved me years. I wouldn't have had to go through the struggle I had to go through and almost losing my apartment and having to sell my vehicles, because now I understand how it works. Lesson 1, business doesn't come to you. You have to go find the business. This isn't a job where tasks are just assigned to you because you work for the job. This is you and you only, which means that if you want people to call you, you have to make them call you. Lesson 2, customers care more about trust than price. People don't care about the price if they can trust you. Build a reputation of reliability, professionalism, and quality. Price becomes less important when you're the obvious choice, when you're the only choice. Now, lesson 3 is consistency beats perfection. Posting regularly, showing up consistently, and showing up reliably is what builds business. Consistency trumps everything if you show up every single day. Lesson 4. Reinvestment strategy. Reinvest profits into marketing. Every single dollar that you put back into your marketing multiplies your future revenue by a shitload. Lesson 5, systems over hours. You have to build systems that work without you. Without systems, you're going to be the system. You're going to be out there doing everything. You have to build systems that allow you to work less hours and make more money. That's what every big company does. That's what every big company is going to continue to do. You have to build a system that is efficient enough to take you off the truck and allow you to build a business and work on the business, not in the business. The beautiful thing about what I've learned is that it's all teachable. What took me 5 years to figure out could take you 6 months to a year, just because all of it is teachable. I can implement all of these strategies that I use in my business 5 years into a business that's only a year in, and I can build or profit significantly, probably up to where I'm at within a year. So I'm sure at this point you've asked the question, why am I telling you all this? It's because I've realized that most junk removers don't lack opportunity. What they lack is guidance. What they lack is knowledge. Now I've started working with other operators. We've worked with over 300 operators at this point, and the results speak for themselves. We took dudes making $0 to $10,000 a month. We took dudes making $5,000 a month to $20,000 a month. We've gone as far as closing these guys high-ticket jobs. Travis Johnson, one of our junk removers, closed a $12,000 hoarder rehab 3 weeks in. And operators who were competing on price are now commanding premium rates. Now here's the thing, this industry is still wide open. Most junk removers, there's a flat line up top of really top tier companies, and it's a very small percentage. And then there's a bunch of bottom feeder junk guys. That's because all these guys are competing for little jobs, and everybody up top knows the systems. We know how to run the business, and everybody on the bottom is either doing it for a side hustle or they don't know how to advertise, and they're still posting in Facebook groups. Well, we're taking all the customers because we've implemented systems that work. With that being said, there's massive opportunity for operators who understand branding, marketing, advertising, who understand the systems. They can get to that point because it's not too crowded up there. There's plenty of space for everybody. Most people just don't want to put the work in. I've developed a system that consistently brings in $50,000 to $70,000 a month. And that's all stuff that I've learned the hard way, not based on theory, not, oh, I think this will work. That is trial and error until something finally works. Like brand building, advertising, systems, scaling, all of the above. But I can't work with everyone. I personally mentor every single operator that I work with, which means there's only so many spots, very limited. Now, this isn't for guys who are looking for quick fixes or cheap courses. We are looking for perfection, and we need you to be looking for perfection. We're not looking for the guys that want to make an extra $500 a month. We're looking for the guys that want to take their business to 5 figures, even 6 figures a month. Now, of course, the investment reflects the value. We're talking about strategies that can take you from making $0 all the way to $15,000, $20,000 a month. We're talking about strategies that can take you from $10,000 a month to $50,000 a month in a very short amount of time. That's not a $97 course. That's a business transformation. Here's what I want you to think about. Where will you be in 6 months from now? Will you still be stuck in the same patterns that I was, chasing small jobs, hoping customers find you, competing on price? Or will you be implementing the strategies that took me to $50,000 a month? It took me 5 years to figure this out because I didn't have anybody to teach me. Unlike me, you don't have to take 5 years. Everything I learned is teachable, implementable, and scalable. But here's the reality. Most people are gonna watch this and do absolutely nothing. They'll go back to posting in Facebook groups and wonder why their business isn't growing. That's exactly why most operators stay stuck. If you're ready to implement these systems, if you're ready to stop competing on price and start being the go-to junk removal company, if you're ready to scale past where you are now, then I'm ready to work with you. Click the link in the description to apply for private mentoring. This is for serious operators only. The application takes about 10 minutes, and I review every single application personally. If you're a good fit, we'll schedule a call and go over your specific issues and how these strategies apply to your market. But remember, I only work with a limited amount of operators at a time. So the faster you apply, the faster I can see your application, and the faster we can get you making money. So if you're serious about taking your business to the next level, click the link in the description and apply now. The difference between successful operators and everyone else isn't luck, it's operation, it's guidance. Let's build your $70,000 a month business together. Apply below.